So in this video, I want to talk about the issue areas in a business that products like Dynamics 365 for Sales are trying to solve. And I think it's important to understand issues, because if we're not trying to solve a business problem, then there really isn't any point in going to all the trouble of implementing and running a CRM system. So sort of understanding of that, I think, is quite important. So I've sort of identified sort of 9 common areas. Now, every business has its own unique set of issues, but these are sort of 9 common ones. I'm going to follow this up with a series of videos. We're going to take each of the issues and we're going to explore exactly how Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Sales addresses that particular issue. So let's go through our 9 issues. So the first one that I've identified is that a lot of organizations struggle to generate new business opportunities. And the reason for that is often their information about potential clients and the known universe of potential clients is very limited. They don't know a lot about them. Data is quite incomplete. It's often very fragmented across multiple systems. It might be in a rudimentary CRM system. It may well be in the world's most popular CRM system, spreadsheets. It may be in Outlook. It may be in peripheral systems and databases. And a lot of it is simply going to be in people's heads. So the impact of that is it's very difficult for marketing to do the very personalized, segmented marketing campaigns that are going to be effective in generating leads. And from a sales standpoint and their sort of business development activities, they haven't necessarily got that understanding of the known potential universe of buyers and what interactions we've had with them in the past and what knowledge that we've gleaned about those that would help their efforts. The second area is around lead management, and it's simply about leads. For many organizations, a lot of those leads just fall between the cracks. They're either not responded to quickly, or they're not responded to at all, or while they might be responded to, if they're longer term leads, then they go off people's radar. They're going to get followed up in the long term. That opportunity goes begging. So that can have a profound impact for a lot of organizations. Lead conversion is highly leveraged. I certainly recommend you try and model that for your particular organization, because small changes in lead conversion rate can have a huge impact on bottom line profitability. So that's the second area, leads falling between the cracks. I think the third area is just visibility of sales pipeline. A lot of organizations have very little understanding of what their future business is likely to be. They haven't got that radar that can see out into the future. A lot of forecasting is quite limited to the extent it takes place. It's often in Excel spreadsheets, and these are not the best tools for providing reliable forecast data. So that visibility sort of impacts businesses. They simply can't make the resourcing decisions they need to make because they don't understand whether business is scaling up or dropping off or staying pretty level. So, that's a big issue. Businesses can't plan or operate unless they understand how things are tracking. I think the fourth issue is productivity. A lot of sales staff are not as productive as they could be. They end up sort of immersed in a load of admin tasks. I think they spend a huge amount of time trying to find out information, get people to do things. I think a lot of time is spent doing manual reports, things like that. There is an admin burden that takes them away from their primary role, which is selling. And the more we can free them up from admin by automating things, it means the more selling they can do and the more sales they're going to make. I think the fifth area is around opportunity conversion. It's all very well as having visibility of opportunities, that's great, but I think a lot of organizations do not convert as many of the opportunities they get as they could do. And as I touched on before, it is highly leveraged conversion of leads and opportunities. I recommend you model it, but it has a profound impact on the bottom line. I think a lot of organizations, the way the teams sell or individuals sell is very different. Person A might do this, and this, and they might have this piece of collateral. I might send this out at this stage. Person B may do something entirely different, and you end up with lots of different levels of success between individuals. And there is no sort of standard sales process. There's no sort of standard collateral. around all of that. And I think for a lot of organizations, they're simply not converting a higher ratio of the opportunities they're handling as they could. Before I go into the sixth, one thing I would say is if you are using Dynamics and you feel you're not getting as much out of it as you'd like to, then feel very free to reach out. Always happy to give some guidance on potential next steps and what you might be able to do. I'll put a link in the description below just in case you want to have a chat. Anyway, let's go on to the sixth area. And the sixth area is, I think a lot of organizations don't do a very good job of delivering the products and services that they've sold. I don't mean just straight delivery, they ship it out in the post or whatever. But a lot of products and services are fairly complex. And there's often a sequence of activities that need to take place, from order through to, the customer being a happy customer at the end of the day. That might be anything from site surveys to installation to training to setting up support contracts, etc., etc. That's going to differ from organisation to organisation depending on what products and services you're selling. But for many, there's quite a range of different activities need to take place that are supported by different teams and different team members. And often the management of that implementation, of that sort of delivery process is managed outside of a system. It's often managed within spreadsheets, etc. And it's often very inefficient. And it also often results in all sorts of quality issues in terms of delivery of that products and services. And if the first time somebody buys from you it's a bad experience, they're unlikely to want to buy too much more, and they may well start telling other people that your products and services are not as strong as you might think, and they're less likely to recommend you to other people. So that delivery piece, the quality of that delivery piece, once we get that sale, is often a key stumbling block for a lot of organizations. The seventh aspect is maximizing the lifetime value of the customer. If we've got a customer through the door, we don't want to go and lose them again, and we've got to go through the cycle of finding new leads and sort of converting those to new customers. We're only going to get growth if we can keep the customers that we're getting and grow those customers. And I think a lot of organizations really struggle to do that. And I think often because we don't necessarily have a really structured approach for account managing them or staying in touch with them, all the people managing them have visibility of all the things that they need to have visibility of, like support issues that customer might be experiencing or any complaints they might have made. And I think from a marketing standpoint, they're unable to provide that sort of additional support because, they don't have visibility of things like what products and services that particular organization has bought, and therefore can tailor and segment their marketing campaigns. So I think a lot of organizations fail to maximize the lifetime value in terms of the length of time they keep that customer and the products or services they're able to sell in addition to what they sold them when that customer initially bought. I think the eighth area that organizations really struggle with is management information, reliable management information. For a lot of organizations, as I said, data is very fragmented. It's not consistently categorized. It's very difficult to derive any meaningful management information. A lot of reporting becomes very, very manual. If you do want to report, it can take a lot of time and a lot of effort to put that together. And, that's a real issue. People can't get the insights, the data, the knowledge that they need to make the decisions that they need. And I think the ninth is it's hard to systemize new things. So no business is static. And, you might acquire another business. You might start selling a new set of products and services. Your business may evolve in some way. You may, wish to accommodate another process, another set of requirements. For a lot of organizations, that simply involves adding a new system, and the whole issue of data fragmentation is maintained. So there is that missing piece for a lot of organizations of having a technology that can accommodate new functionality, new capabilities quickly and easily and start to systemize processes with limited investment of time. So I think those are the 9 issue areas. So I will go through those in a sequence of videos we're going to do and explore each one and do some screen share of the typical setup within Microsoft Dynamics 365 sales that might address those. Anyway, hopefully that's sort of insightful and perhaps rang a few bells. This is one in a wide range of videos we've done on Microsoft Dynamics 365 for sales, so feel free to check out the channel. I say if you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, I'll put a link below, feel very free to reach out. But anyway, hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon.